Good Wednesday, and welcome everybody to this edition of Coach Vogel's Corner. I'm David Stearns. Joined with me on the phone is the one, the only Coach Aaron Vogelai. Coach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Dave. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Hanging in there, hanging in there. Just still coming off of a very interesting weekend of hockey, I'd have to say you are probably feeling pretty good after this past weekend with one of the key victories in your back pocket. But let's start off with the bitter pill to swallow was the game on Saturday against Liberty University. Talk a little bit about that one, the 5-2 loss up at Reisterstown.
We it was a tough day. It was a tough loss for us. I thought we started out very well. About 6-7 minutes in, we were out shooting them 9-2, controlling most of the play, and then the momentum flipped for one reason or another, and Liberty took it to us. I tip my hat to them. They're a very good hockey team. Brett Bushman, the D1 team last year, the last 3 years, he's a great addition. They got a freshman, DJ Dennison, that's very good talent. Their goaltender played outstanding. So, they outplayed us on Saturday night in our own building. It doesn't happen very often, but they sure did it that day. So I tip my hat to them. It's a good win for them.
Now let's actually just move right into it, into Sunday's matchup against the Rowan University Profs. This one had much hype to it, and a lot of people were anticipating a good contest. And you guys, for the most part, over the past few years, have pretty much dominated play against Rowan University. Well, I wouldn't say dominated, but had some very competitive contests. Most memorable one being the outdoor New Jersey Pond Hockey Classic 3 years ago, which ended in a 4-4 tie. Talk about a little bit of the history between UMBC and Rowan before we get into the details of this game.
I think it's been two programs on the rise. I think when I took over UMBC 3 years ago, we were a little bit higher on the totem pole, just because Rowan was just kind of getting into this league. But I don't think any team has progressed more in this league other than Rowan, coming in from the Delaware Valley, or the GNC, I'm sorry, the Greater Northeast Conference, when they did 4 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever it may be. And now last year it was their first year at regionals and almost just to go to nationals. So, Johnny Caulfield, head coach there, and the president of the league, has done an outstanding job. And they're one of the marquee teams in our league. And it's always fun, good battles. Last year it was a 4-1 win, and then the 2-1 overtime thriller that if anybody saw was extremely happy to even be a part of it. Or even watch it. It was a great game. So, I think there is starting to become a rivalry a little bit there, but I think it's just really good hockey either way. It's definitely not a heated rivalry. There's no hatred between teams. The players really like each other and have a mutual respect for each other. So they're always fun to be a part of.
Now take us through this game. It started rather quickly for your squad, having a goal very early on in the game, about a minute and 38 in. Colin Devlin's point shot off of a face-off win from Bloom. Talk about that goal and pretty much what you felt led up to it. What was going on the bench? Was there high energy that just kind of led to an onslaught right off the get?
Yeah, before the game, I think the guys were focused to get it done. They knew they had a big test in front of them. Rowan was 11-0 coming into this. We split with Maryland, and they decimated them twice. So we knew we had to be at the best of our abilities, and we had to play our best game. So, I think, we had there was a players only meeting after the loss to Liberty. So, they kind of put things together and decided that, when they come to play, they can at least compete, if not beat anybody there is in front of them. So it was they definitely did bring their A game on Sunday, and it showed right from the get-go. With Colin's shot come from the point, and Brian Bennett's an excellent goaltender from Rowan, and he just didn't see that shot and didn't hear it because it wasn't a slap shot or anything like that. It just went right in the upper corner.
Talk about that first period, just the way it kind of played out. It was a quick goal right off the bat, but pretty much play. Just it seemed to be swinging in the momentum of your team throughout, but what held it together for you guys? I mean, uh, walking into the dressing room with a 1-0 lead after an early goal in that period, how did that set the tone for you guys as far as a coaching staff from that perspective, and how you guided your team? Was it a conservative effort going forward, or was it keep pushing, run and gun, or how did you guys structure it from there?
Well, I think we tried to keep it everything kind of structured the same even from right from the beginning. I mean, even more than the goals, how we played that first period, we really wanted to neutralize their speed because Rowan can really get up and down the rink. And we wanted to make sure that we kept everything in front of them, nobody got behind us, and we were able to step up the play in the neutral zone to not allow them to, their offensive zone or our defensive zone. So, we just wanted to kind of tie some things up and make a little tweaks here and there. But, I thought we did a great job in just sticking to our system and playing our game and making Rowan play our game versus, the night before when we tried to play Liberty's game. And we're not good at anybody else's game. We want them to try to make another team play our style. And if that happens, usually we're going to come out with a victory.
Now, moving through the rest of the game here, just that second period, the scoring opened up to a 3-0 commanding lead for your squad. Talk about the goals from Zach Tracy and Sean O'Connor. Of course, O'Connor's being on the power play, but Zach Tracy coming at an even strength goal just pretty much halfway through that period. Walk us through those two goals and how they pretty much dictated the rest of the game.
We've been waiting for Zach Tracy to kind of jump out of this slump that he's been on, and he got a great opportunity. Walked right in on the left side of Bennett and put one up over his glove. I mean, Bennett got a piece of it, but there was a lot on that shot, and he just kind of deflected off his glove and still had enough to kind of get past it into the back of the net. And I think that was a huge relief off of Zach's shoulders. And I think we found out in a hurry that he had more in him than just that one. So. And then on OC's goal, our power play's actually been working pretty well as of late. I think we're up around 25-26% for the year, so it's starting to kind of come together. We're getting there. We want it a little bit higher still, but a lot of power play goals. It isn't always the big shot that goes in. It's sometimes just standing in the right spot, and that's what OC was. Bloom let a shot go from the up top on the umbrella, and it just happened to sneak on through, and OC would be standing right there just to kind of shove it in a wide open net. So, right time, right place kind of thing, but it was nice to get OC back on the scoring side of it. He's been kind of going through a little bit of a slump as well. So, the other side of it is we switched up our line, so now Tracy and OC will be playing together. That's a lot of speed for a team to handle, but it also gives them both somebody to play with as well. So.
Now, of course, the story of the game was Zach Tracy, as you were talking about, with his two goals, one of them being on the power play, and of course, his first goal being the game-winning goal. Talk about the man between the pipes, Trevor Miller. He saw 28 shots, only allowing one goal, which was towards the end of the second period there. So, pretty solid performance with a 96 save percentage in this game overall. Talk a little bit about his play style. He saw some really, really good quality shots up close from point blank. Talk a little bit about his play in this game.
Trevor's been outstanding ever since he came back, but this on Sunday he was outstanding. He really was. He was square to every shot. His angles were great, so his reflexes were perfect. So he did a great job. And not only do you want a goaltender to give you a chance to win a game. I mean, he was one of the major reasons why we won that game. So he did an outstanding job, and now he's gonna be rewarded for what he's done so far, going 2-2 for us, and he's gonna get to share the rest of the season with John.
So what does this game mean for you guys now going into this coming weekend? You guys have Georgetown on Saturday and William Paterson on Sunday. These two games are just going to finish out your ranking period that concludes on, well, pretty much Sunday, the 18th. So where do you guys see the impact of this weekend and the impact of next weekend? I mean, you guys lost to number 7 but defeated number 2. So what happens going forward here?
Your guess is as good as mine, Dave. To be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, there's, it's the Southeast is just one of those ranking periods, and it's for us. And this year has just been kind of weird when it comes to ranking. So I mean, you could off of this weekend, you could see us moving down because we lost to Liberty because they outplayed us, or you could see us moving, up, or even just staying the same because we beat Rowan. I anything could happen. It's all going to depend, on what Bowling Green does this weekend and what Toledo does and what Liberty does this weekend and Penn State does. So anything can happen, but the one thing that we can do is just kind of control our own destiny and keep winning. So if we come out and we win 2 games and start to show some consistency and get a big win over Paterson, that's just going to help us. If we don't, then we're probably going to drop.
Well, you and I also talked about, off air about Grand Valley and Miami, the impact of those two contests this past weekend. And, I mean, Grand Valley sitting at a number 2 there in the Central, and of course, Miami sitting at number 1 in the Southeast. Looking across at the other conference at Northeast, looking at Paterson sitting at 4. Um, you guys split. Well, actually, you didn't play a second game against Montclair, who was at number 7. Talk to us a little bit about the formula that goes into calculating pretty much the rankings, because it's just mind-boggling to think, all right, Paterson proverbially is like up there at the top 4. They are at 4, so they're on the lower end of it. And then, of course, when Miami saw Grand Valley, splitting the weekend there pretty much seals the deal for them in this ranking period, being at number 1 because they contended with a strong number 2 in the Central. What goes into this formula? I mean, do you have to be a physicist to understand it?
I think it's all in the eye of the beholder. There is a criteria that goes into it that's given to each one of the guys that's on the ranking committee, and they get the schedule and they kind of just kind of go over strength of schedule, who they've beaten, who they haven't, common opponent. So there is there's a lot of common sense that's put into it, but then there's everybody does it differently. Everybody has their own formula, so it's just one of those things.
Now, where do you guys see going into the game against Georgetown on Saturday? You and I talked in the post game about your goaltending issue. Drago's coming back, but you have Trevor Miller with strong performances night in and night out in the past 2 weekends. Are you going to split the weekend on them? Have Miller on Saturday and Drago on Sunday? What is your plan going forward with this?
No, my plan is to start Trevor Miller on Saturday, probably playing half a game to 2 periods,
Mm-hmm.
and then put Drago in for the second half of the Georgetown game, just so he gets reacquainted. He had a great week of practice. He's definitely ready for the weekend, but we want to kind of get him some game time experience before he has to face Paterson. You wouldn't want that to be the first thing that he sees coming back. So, we're excited to have him back, and it's going to work out well for us.
Now, where do you see this weekend falling in place for you guys? Can you guys carry the momentum into this coming weekend?
I surely hope so. Georgetown's a very fast team. They got a good goaltender. They got a good top line. So we're gonna have to be at our best. We can't take anybody for granted, that's for sure. So we got to learn some consistency at the same point in time. So we're gonna do the best we can up against them, and we're gonna let all the chips fall where they may up against Paterson. They're a great team. We haven't had the best of luck with them in the past, but this is a new year, new team, so we're going to give it our best.
Now, real quickly here, before going into this weekend, is there any player that you'd like to highlight that maybe people should keep an eye out for? Of course, we're going to be broadcasting both the games on Cross Ice Feed, but for those that are watching, or even for myself up there in the broadcast perch, the rickety scaffold, as I'll call it, what player would you like to highlight that maybe is coming out of his shell? I mean, you've kind of alluded to Zach Tracy finally having the weight lifted off his shoulders and then having a breakout game. But who is that player that we should all be paying attention to?
I think for the last couple of years, this team has gone and not gone with Sean O'Connor. I mean, he's one of our captains and things like that. But OC sets the tone for us. He does a great job, so I think we're definitely going to have to look to him for his leadership up in a big weekend like this. Playing with a kid like Tracy, he's going to have a lot of speed to go with him. So, I think DJ Fadler, the other guy on the line, he's another freshman. That's got an immense amount of talent that's kind of starting to come out a little bit. He's getting some scoring opportunities, so I'd like to see him really step up his game on a big weekend like this too.
All right. Well, Coach, any final thoughts before going into this weekend that rounds out the second ranking period?
You know, I was just kind of really looking forward to a big weekend here, and it's been a fun year so far. It's had its ups and downs, but I think the boys are starting to realize that if they come and show up to play, we're going to be a really tough team to play up against. So I'm just glad we're playing at home this weekend. It should be fun to see all the guys from Paterson again.
All right. Well, good luck this weekend, Coach, and we'll see you at the rink.
Look forward to it. Thanks again. Take care.
All right. That's Coach Aaron Voegtli for Coach Vogelai's Corner. Looking forward to the games against Georgetown and William Paterson this Saturday and Sunday. Of course, you can catch both those games here at crossicefeed.com and check out the Ustream tab for the schedule. So, David Stearns for Coach Aaron Vogelai saying good night, everybody, and as always, don't stop believing.
Take care.